Welcome back, everyone. I have a very special guest with me today. I have Dave Pietro. I've been practicing that for 24 hours. I hope I got that one absolutely right. He's a very special guest, writer, director extraordinaire, plenty of projects out there, too many to list. Very talented. I've seen a couple of pieces of your work, and I've noticed that you've been doing this since high school all the way back with Super 8 is what it said. So for those of you that don't know what that is, it's go look it up. It's going to take some time to explain that one. But congratulations on all your accomplishments. And I heard you're a very busy person. So I very much appreciate you taking the time to do this with us and explaining to, the audience of not only what you do, but talk about your mindset and your motivational tactics and things you do. So I'm going to leave the floor open to you. Kind of let you talk a little bit about the things that you got going on and what you want to share with us.
Leland, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Gosh, like you said, a lot going on. Um, I did start my entertainment journey back in high school. It was senior year, actually. And that year, a James Bond movie was coming out called Diamonds Are Forever with Sean Connery. It was one of his last movies. And I got the bug and I said, hey, I can make a James Bond film. So I wrangled a whole bunch of kids to school and start putting it together and found that I just didn't have the time to do it while I was in school. So when I graduated that year, uh, myself and a bunch of guys met some filmmakers down in the Atlantic City area, and we went down there and started to make a James Bond film. We went down every weekend down and around Atlantic City, Margate, Ocean City, all around the shore area. Wound up wrecking a speedboat, not intentionally, trust me. But it was fun, and that was my foray into filmmaking per se. Over the years, we then graduated. That same group of guys and myself started Cinema Group 4, which was a filmmaking group. Started making 16 millimeter films. We had an ambitious project. We took Arthur C. Clarke, a very famous science fiction writer. We took his novel Rendezvous with Rama, and we were turning that into a black and white 16 millimeter full length feature. That was quite an endeavor. And then after that, we eventually graduated to 35 millimeter, which was basically what was being shown in theaters at that time. By then, the movie Star Wars had come out, and that actually gave us another big shot in the arm, per se. And we started doing industrial films, things of that nature. And then all of a sudden, we kind of all went our separate ways. I stayed with filmmaking for quite a while, to the point where I eventually produced, directed, and wrote a pilot for the Sci-Fi Channel called Quad 9. That was quite an endeavor. A little bit ahead of its time. It did not get picked up by the network. However, it was a really good learning lesson. A, never put your own money into a project if you can help it. But it was fantastic. It was full of special effects, special visual effects, very early computer generated effects at that time. And subsequently, my full-time job had been with Paramount Pictures. I've been with them for uh, 13 and a half years, which was pretty nice run, going between the East Coast and the West Coast, being on many sets of, again, the Star Trek movies, Mission Impossible, Eddie Murphy's The Golden Child, tons of different films at that time. Again, another learning lesson. Um, it was about that same time that Paramount decided to move me up to Northern California. I said, "Oh, San Francisco." And they said, "No, Northern California." Sacramento. No, Northern California. So far north that I could spit and hit Oregon. So I went, no, that's not for me. So I began starting my own company at that time, called Factory X. My friend, myself, and a financier started a company that we produced high-end, beautiful collectibles from the motion picture, television, and video game marketplace. So we did everything. We had a license from Marvel, so we did Blade, we did Captain America, Iron Man, all these fantastic pieces from that. We did movies such as A Knight's Tale, Gladiator, all that. And again, subsequently, the company that was manufacturing for my company invited me to join them. Subsequently, I moved down to Georgia, where I'm currently at now, and was with that company for 16 and a half years. That company was Museum Replicas. I believe that's how we met, you and I, through that company. It was the largest manufacturer in the world of historical arms, armor, and period costuming. I brought licensing into that company, and at the same time created whole bunches of new different SKUs for steampunk, and that's again where we met. SKUs for again Marvel and all these different licensed products. We attended San Diego Comic-Con. We went all over the world with that company. I've been to India, Japan, Ireland, England, Spain. I've just been all over the world with them. Subsequently, I semi-retired right before COVID, which was a perfect time actually, and started producing some short films, things of that nature, trying to get a couple major films off the ground. Unfortunately, I think anybody in the entertainment industry right now could tell you that it's a little tough getting financing right now,
Yeah.
even though most of the films we're looking at are between the $50,000 to $100,000 market. These films make an enormous amount of money at the back end if you can produce a film that low. Naturally, most of them are within the horror genre, but we have a really good back end deal. It's just simply finding the upfront financing. We can talk about that a little later in the discussion.
I have to
So in
ask.
the meantime, I jumped into the theater marketplace. I've always been directing theater off and on through my whole life. I was invited to start directing high school. The local high school here, Rockdale County High Schools, lost their theater teacher a number of years back. And they invited me to come on. And for 2 years, I brought them musicals, Shakespeare, one act plays, things of that nature. And they won so many awards that the school realized, I think we should hire a full-time theater teacher. Well, I wasn't going to make that much money out of it. I thought, let somebody young and more vigorous do that. So I let that slide. But in the meantime, I've been designing and directing a lot of theater all of a sudden for Georgia UGA, Georgia Perimeter College, the New Depot Players, the Conyers Rockdale Council of the Arts Theater, Conyers Creative Kids. I mean, so a whole bunch of different projects are in the works right now. Again, we can talk about as we go further.
I have to ask you like a question that's burning in the forefront of my brain right now because that's a lot of experience and you spoke straight to my heart because I am a diehard Captain America fan, but you spoke straight to my heart. But I have to ask you, what advice would you give to someone that's in the starting part of their career? That you were a mentor to now. Like this is like a platform where I want to help people, move forward and push forward. And, it's not often that someone can just walk up to you and have access to you. So this is like, what advice would you give that person that's starting out making their first little film or their first project in high school or middle school now with all the way the technology is working?
Well, I always believe since the very first time in high school, you have to love what you do. If you love what you do, it's not a job anymore. It becomes a passion. And passion is a key word when it comes to what I do, whether it's writing, directing, creating. The creative process is a passion. So if you have that passion in your heart, you will go places. You really will. You'll find opportunities, and you'll find that opportunities come knocking on your door as well. But if you're a writer, write every day. If you're an actor, find outlets to act. There are so many wonderful outlets, and don't look for big, giant paying jobs. Yes, they're out there too, but just find some place to act. Go to auditions, go to your local community theater, go to various colleges. Colleges actually put on productions that they're always looking for actors of all different age groups, believe me. Again, if you're a director, get a film, write a short film. You can just take your darn cell phone and make a film. Do it. Don't sit on your laurels and wait for that knock at the door. Hey, is there a director in there? Is there an actor in there? It's never going to happen. You have to create your own opportunities. Um, I've been very blessed, as I say, by directing, working with all different types of actors, very, very high-end professional actors, equity actors, all the way down to high school and even middle school. And there's so much talent out there. And the only way you can really go forward is to keep going at what you do. Don't rest on your laurels. Just take every opportunity you can get. If someone comes to you and says, "Oh, you're an actor? I have a small project. I don't have any money. I don't have any of this. But if you'd like to do it, that would be fantastic." Do it. Just do it. Woody Allen has once said, 80% of success is simply showing up. And I can't even stress that enough. If you show up, you can't even imagine the possibilities that await you at the back end. Maybe not this time, maybe not the next time, but eventually those opportunities are there for you.
That's so true and so perfect. Um, I have personal experiences where, at first, acting or something along those lines, promotional modeling was just, it was a paycheck for me at the time, but it ended up opening doors for me that I never thought that would happen. It actually saved my life on a couple of occasions, which is, kind of weird to have an acting gig or something that saves your life or get you recognized or get you out of trouble or it's just an amazing situation. Now do go through one question that I normally ask all of my guests, and I'm pretty sure you know what I'm going to ask, but it's what keeps you motivated? You sound like you have like so much on your plate right now, and not just the circus spinning all the plates, it's like juggling all the plates and spinning. What keeps you motivated?
Passion, passion and love for what I do. Um, I can't even tell you. Okay, we met through a project that I was doing back in the day called Archangel from the Winter's End Chronicles. It's a steampunk action adventure series.
Right.
That's something that I created, I wrote, directed, produced, everything, everything. But I can't even tell you how excited I got when you write a character, you create a character, and all of a sudden this guy or girl actor shows up and becomes the character of your written word. When you actually see that character come to life right before your very eyes, it's a tearing moment. It really is. I can't even put into words what that does to you as a writer, director, whatever, to see that come alive, that character. It's almost like giving birth to a human being. And every project I do, the last big project I just finished a few months back was a play called Lend Me a Tenor. It was written by a very famous author by the name of Ken Ludwig, and he's got a number of Broadway shows out there. Well, he wrote this particular play, and I was blessed, and blessed was the best word I could come up with, of having some of the greatest actors I have ever worked with in my entire life. It was a cast of 9 people. And these people just took this play and ran with it, ran with it. And what I do is a collaboration. Yes, I'm a director. Yes, I'm a writer or a producer, but it takes a team, and that team gives you that passion to go on. Because unlike a lot of directors, yes, I stick to the written word, but I am totally open with my creative team, whether it be the actors or my stage managers or whoever, to listen to what they can bring to the table. Because sometimes those ideas you go, it's not really right. But other times it becomes magic. And when that magic happens and you sit in that audience and you hear those people laughing or tears streaming down their faces from the emotions that you've created, no money can buy that. No money. That is the passion that you create in loving what you do. And that is one of the main things that keep me going every single day.
Thank you so much for sharing that. One of my favorite movies, I've always envisioned being on, the side that you're on. And one of my favorite movies was Last Action Hero, where the character got to meet the actor and where the characters got to come off of the screen and interact with the real world and just understanding how that character would see itself or see its creator is probably what I imagine what you're going through when you see, Archangel come out and there he is and there's this feeling there's this you wrote all the pain, the suffering, the struggles, like just envisioning all of that and having it manifest to you. That's probably just breathtaking. I've never done anything like that, but I can imagine like how overwhelming it would be. So tell me where you're going with Archangel, and again, it is something that's kind of I'm a little bit partial to. And thank you for not suing me, by the way, because I really didn't know. I had a friend that sent me, the image and everything else, and then I had to look it up and requested you, and I sent you a picture. I totally didn't know that that was a thing, but thank you for not suing me. So where are you going with this now? I saw some of
Well,
the.
that project's a very expensive project. I mean, if I was to turn that into anything, it could either be say, a six-part mini series or a motion picture. But because it's set in 1893 London, and you have all the costumes and special visual effects and all that, it's a very expensive project. So in the meantime, what I had done was I had contacted a New York Times best-selling author, Maya Catherine Bonhoff, and I gave her my original script for my pilot, aka movie project, and she turned it into a novel. So that novel is available now on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere. Right now, you can buy the actual novelization. I have a second one in the works, but right now, my life has become, I guess, other projects, especially theater at this moment in time. I just finished auditioning several days ago and getting my full cast for an upcoming project called Behind the Dark Gray Wall. A very good friend of mine who was in that sci-fi project Quad 9 that I mentioned for the Sci-Fi Channel is unfortunately an incarcerated individual at this time. But he's an award-winning poet and author of short vignettes and stories. He constantly sends me various things. And as I'm reading through these, I say, these are too good just to sit nowhere. Now, don't get me wrong, he does publish these on many websites across the United States. And like I say, has won many awards for his works. So I went to him about a year ago and said to him, his name is Larry N. Stromberg, and you can look him up just on Google, and it's amazing how much stuff will come up on him. He's got better publicity than I do, and he's incarcerated, so you go figure that one out. But I asked him if I could take some of his poems and some of his vignettes and turn them into a one-act play. He was totally thrilled with the idea. I'm working with the Conyers Rockdale Council of the Arts Theater here in Conyers. They have a program called Inspiration Theater, which brings very heartwarming tales to the community. Things that we, again, give back. Giving back is so important. So that's going to be upcoming very shortly, and that's going to be coming out in August. You can actually go online right now to tickets.conyersarts.org and purchase tickets if you happen to be in the Georgia vicinity. And I'd love for you to see this play. It is touching, it's heartwarming, it's a little scary. It's about incarceration, both men and women. It's the ups and downs, but it shows how faith can truly, truly, truly get you through just about anything in life. And that's just one of my many projects right now. The other project right behind that for October is based on a children's book. A very, very good friend of mine, his name is Ernest Lewis, an African American children's story writer, soon to be a doctor, actually. He's an incredible individual. He's going to college to become a doctor, a pediatrician, and has written a whole series of books, again, award-winning books. And I asked him if he could turn this into a play. And this is the most heartwarming play for kids, about kids, but it's also for adults. That's called The Boy Who Brought His Mind to Life. And that's going to be presented through the Conyers Creative Kids. It's a youth organization that does theater, again, within the Conyers, Georgia area here. We were working in tandem with the Children's Hospital of Atlanta, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and they're going to be a sponsor of this, and we're going to raise money for them at the same time. Why? It's giving back to the community, giving back to children. And again, if we can do that with almost every project that you put out there, even if it's just a heartwarming feeling as giving back, that's exciting. And behind that, I'm doing another play for the New Depot players next February called The Game's Afoot. It's also written by Ken Ludwig, the same author who wrote Lend Me a Tenor. The Game's Afoot is about a real life individual who was an actor back in around the turn of the century. And he played Sherlock Holmes on the Broadway stage over 1,700 times. He took that money, his name is William Gillette. He took that money and built an actual castle in upstate Connecticut on the river. That castle still exists. You can go there today and actually see this castle, but it's filled with all these mysterious things. And the play's about him as an actor performing Sherlock Holmes. And at the end of one of the performances, someone in the audience stands up and shoots him. Well, he doesn't die. He gets better and then hosts a dinner party and invites all these people to the dinner party who he thinks might actually have shot him. And he, as Sherlock Holmes, decides to solve the mystery. And that's the play. So again, there's so many of these wonderful things that I'm involved with. And through the grace of God, I'm so thankful for this.
That sounds amazing, and I will have to come out and see at least one of those. I am partial to Sherlock Holmes, so
Mm.
I will I will try my best to come out and definitely see that one more than the others. However, please let everybody know like where they can catch you, where they can catch your work, what they can view your work from or where they can stream it, whatever. Please like let the audience know and how to get in touch with you. Even if they're actors or whatever they're looking for, please let them know this is like your time to self-promote that.
Well, I'm always looking for actors within this community. Now, when I say this community, probably as far out as maybe Atlanta. I have actors in this new play, this Behind the Dark Gray Wall. Uh, One actor actually drove up from Savannah. Now you're talking 3 hours and 20 minutes to be in a play that's not equity, non-union, no pain to be in this play because that's what the subject matter meant to him. Am I not going to cast this guy
Right.
with a devotion like this to my play? So I've worked out a deal that we can do Zoom rehearsals, and then he'll come up and actually stay here for like a week when the actual performance is here. Um, but people can reach out to me at my email address, which is Dave, Dave, at realcoolentertainment.com. Real cool is REEL, like a movie reel, coolentertainment.com. My website, which you can see a lot of the things we're working on, is realcoolentertainment.com. Pretty simple. I'm always looking for producers also. If someone's out there willing to produce a film for us or step up and produce a play, it's not a lot of money. I know some guys in Atlanta spend more than that on a weekend or on a car that they just drive part-time. But this is giving back to our community. The movies that we have, as I say, are horror films. One is called The Desecrated. Another one is called The Cryptorium. We have some decent names attached to these projects. They're all diverse casts, which is really fantastic. Um, as for this new play coming up, Behind the Dark Gray Wall, that will be performed in the Conyers, Georgia area, which is about 28 minutes east of Atlanta via I-20. It's very simple to get to, so it's less than a half an hour away. You can get tickets there at tickets.conyersarts.org. That'll take you right there, or conyersarts.org will take you to the actual theater itself. As for the other play, The Boy Who Brought His Mind to Life, that you can go to conyerscreativekids.com. And again, you'll get all the information for that play. And then finally, for the play next year, the Sherlock Holmes, The Game's Afoot, that would be thenewdepots.com. And that's already on their list as well. So any of those you can reach out to, but feel free to Dave at realcoolentertainment.com. If you're an actor, producer, want to collaborate on something, or even have a play or a movie that you want to talk about, I'm totally open to that. If I need to sign an NDA for something like that, that's no problem at all. I'm always looking to collaborate. Real Cool Entertainment is a company that produces film, television, and theater projects. So we're always looking for exciting new IP. We have a number of things, like I said, in the works. If you go to our site, you'll see a lot of projects. But I'm always looking for funding. But we're not looking for that $7 million, $2 million, $1 million, $500,000. We're really not looking for that. Like I said, $50,000 to $100,000 would really make you a heck of a film. And we have back end deals in place. We have overseas deals in place. So it's a win-win scenario for everybody involved. So if you double your money, triple your money on something like that, not
Right.
a bad deal.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at.
That sounds amazing. And I'm sure that my friends in the music industry and a couple of them will be reaching out to you. They're looking forward to working with you on anything, whether it's syncing or connecting with film festivals and things of that nature. I'm sure of it. I'm
I
sure.
work with a Grammy Award winning engineer composer by the name of Billy Hume. He has worked with a number of groups here in Atlanta, everybody from Bone Crusher and just big names within the industry. As I said, he's a Grammy Award winning engineer producer. So he does a lot of the music for my productions and things like that. So I'm already kind of dipping my little toe into the local music industry here in the Georgia area. So again, it's amazing how much of a small world this really is. It's a large industry, but a small community. So it's kind of fun.
All right. Well, Dave, thank you so much. I'm going to close this one out, and what I would look forward to communicating with you after your projects, seeing how they're going, seeing what happened, even posting pictures of the the opening nights and things of that nature. I would love to be
Absolutely.
share that out with everyone, and getting to know you a little bit more inside of the chaos, inside of the things going on. I would love to get to do that. Again, Dave, dear Pietro, I hope I said that right. I've been practicing.
Mhm.
I'm telling you. Thank you very much for everything that you do, not just here, but in the community, the motivation that you're doing, the inspiration that you're providing, the outlet that you're giving to everyone, and creating these characters and this product to where it would resonate, further beyond the reaches of our comprehension, which is again a testament to why we even know each other. So I want to thank you for all of that, and wish you many, many more blessings of good luck.
Leland, thank you so much for this wondrous opportunity as well. I really appreciate much continued success with this particular podcast because, again, you're giving back, and that's so important.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Looking forward to you. Take
Take
care.
care.